why saving money feels so difficult, and what's really holding you back. You've probably promised yourself more than once that this time you're going to save. Maybe it's for a house, an emergency fund, or simply to stop living paycheck to paycheck. But somehow, by the end of the month, there's barely anything left. You're not alone. Saving money can be surprisingly difficult, and the reasons go far deeper than just not earning enough. Let's walk through the main things that quietly sabotage your savings and how they work against you. 1. You don't have a clear budget or financial plan. You can't manage what you don't measure. Without tracking your income and expenses, money slips away unnoticed. You might feel like you're spending reasonably, but unless you've written it down or used an app, it's easy to underestimate how much goes toward coffee, online shopping, or food delivery. When you don't assign each dollar a purpose, spending naturally expands to match or even exceed your income. That's why a budget isn't a restriction, and it's a roadmap. It gives you control over your money instead of letting it control you. And 2, you fall into impulse spending and lifestyle inflation. You tell yourself it's just a small treat, a pair of shoes, a meal out, a new gadget. But over time, those small splurges snowball. The biggest trap comes when your income increases. Instead of saving more, you start upgrading your lifestyle. A better phone, a nicer car, a more expensive apartment. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it's one of the sneakiest obstacles to building wealth. If your expenses rise as quickly as your income, you'll never actually feel richer, just busier maintaining a more expensive life. And debt drains. Your potential to save debt is like an anchor that slows every financial goal you set. Credit card bills, student loans, car payments, they all take a chunk of your income before you even get a chance to save. The problem is the interest. You end up paying more for things you already bought, often long after you've stopped enjoying them. When a large portion of your money goes toward repayments, there's little left to put aside for yourself. Paying off high-interest debt should always come before serious saving. Otherwise, you're running in place. And 4, you rely on willpower. Instead of systems, you might think saving is all about discipline, saying no to temptation and yes to long-term goals. But willpower alone is unreliable. It wears down, especially when you're stressed or tired. What you really need are systems, automatic transfers to your savings account, spending limits, or budgeting apps that hold you accountable. When saving happens automatically, you don't have to fight yourself every time you're tempted to spend. 5. Your income is irregular or too low. When your income fluctuates, maybe you freelance, work on commission, or run a small business, it's hard to plan ahead. You don't know how much will come in next month, so you hesitate to save. Even a low or inconsistent income doesn't make saving impossible, but it does mean you need a different approach, smaller, more flexible goals, and a focus on emergency funds first. The key is consistency, saving something, no matter how small, every time money comes in. 6. Emergencies keep setting you back. Just when you start saving, life throws a curveball, a medical bill, car repair, or family emergency. These moments can wipe out months of effort. The real issue isn't bad luck, it's not having a safety net. Without an emergency fund, you're forced to dip into savings or take on debt every time something goes wrong. Building even a modest buffer, a few $100s at first, can break that cycle. 7. You feel pressure to keep up with others. It's hard not to compare yourself. Social media makes it look like everyone's traveling, dining out, and living effortlessly well. You see the highlights of other people's lives and start feeling like you're falling behind. This pressure leads you to spend just to feel normal. But here's the truth. Most people are not as financially stable as they appear. Learning to separate your goals from social comparison is one of the most powerful money skills you can develop. The cost of living keeps rising. Sometimes, the problem isn't your habits, it's the economy. Rent, groceries, fuel, and education costs are rising faster than wages in many places. When more of your income goes toward basic needs, saving naturally becomes harder. In this case, the best thing you can do is focus on what you can control. Cutting unnecessary expenses, finding small ways to increase income, and making saving automatic, even if it's just a few dollars at a time. Progress, not perfection, matters most. And 9, you don't have a clear why for saving. Saving for the sake of saving rarely works. You need a reason that feels personal and motivating, something that makes short-term sacrifice feel worthwhile. Maybe it's freedom from stress, buying your own home, or retiring early. When you attach emotion and purpose to your goal, saving stops feeling like deprivation and starts feeling empowering. 10. You keep waiting for the right time. You tell yourself you'll start saving when you earn more, when debts are paid off, or when things settle down. But life rarely provides the perfect moment. Waiting only delays progress, and the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to catch up. Starting small today is far better than waiting for someday. Even saving $10 a week builds the habit and mindset that will make future saving easier. The bottom line: saving money isn't just about math. It's about behavior, emotion, and mindset. You're constantly balancing your present desires with your future security. The real challenge isn't knowing how to save. It's building the habits and systems that make it sustainable. Once you start treating saving as something you deserve, rather than something you should do, it stops feeling like a burden and starts feeling like self-respect.